guys, and welcome back to the Chaotic Kids channel, where I, Michelle, document my life here on YouTube as I try to become a full-time author, while also traversing the world of multiple personalities. If that sounds interesting to you, stick around, but today we are going to have a discussion. I guess it's going to be the first wrap-up video / goals video that I'm going to be having on this channel as the new year comes around, so let's get into it. Guys, so over the next 3 weeks, or however these videos come out to be, I have 3 videos that I would like to record, kind of doing a wrap-up of life of 2025 moving into 2026. So the first video we're going to do is more of a personal one. This is kind of like more like books that I'm reading, maybe wanting to do like more like lifestyle stuff instead of like writing stuff and like spiritual stuff, which I will do a spiritual one and I will do a author one because those are other assets of my life. But yeah, so we are going to start with personal. These are more like, this is mostly going to be about reading, just because I feel like I need to do better on reading because I'm an author and I feel like you need to have more. You need to fill the creative well, and I don't really fill the creative well and stuff. Sorry, my nose itches. But so this year I read 3 books. You can think it's good or bad. I think it's pretty bad. I love reading books, but at the same point, I don't like reading books. Like, I like them, but I don't. And like, I used to do really good about reading Wattpad books, but I got rid of it because I was like, it feels weird reading like almost smutty books whenever you're trying to become Catholic, so I was like, this doesn't feel right, so I'm gonna stop. Well, I'm not trying to be Catholic, but going back into my Catholic faith, you know? So I was like, I'm gonna not do this anymore. But that doesn't mean all books on Wattpad are smut. It's just the books I was reading was. So I was like, I'm gonna get away from this and just go into the physical books that I have, because like, I do have a lot, and on like, they're all up there on that shelf and in front of me. But these are books like I want to read, but I just don't. And I'm like, I want to buy more books, and I'm like, I need to just stick to the books that I've got, kind of thing. But so we're going to talk about the 3 books that I got real quick, then we'll go into some books I want to buy. Well, I'll probably go books that I'm reading, well, books that I read, books that I'm reading, and books that I want to buy in the 2026, and then also some other things. So, the 3 books that I read this year are Sarah Cannon's Beautiful Demons, The Secret Zoo, and then Real Not Perfect. So I'll just go into detail a little bit about each book. So, Sarah Cannon's Beautiful Demons, really enjoyed the book. Would I continue the series? Probably. I don't really like reading series because I like a variety, and, well, I say I like a variety, but, like, the reason for it is because of my alters, you know, like, everyone wants to read different things, and if, like, I was to focus on just fantasy books, then everyone else is like, hey, I want to do this, why can't we do this kind of thing? So it's challenging. But the reason we started this one before Sarah did her I guess that's going to be in the next section, but whenever she read aloud A Mirror Shadows, we kind of started reading it just to get like an idea on her writing style and stuff. Then we read The Secret Zoo. This one was mostly meant for our littles in our system. So littles are children alters. Ours range anywhere from like 5 to like 12. And then once they get past 12, they typically like graduate from the littles room and get their own room. But they're still connected to the littles room, I think is how it works. I'm honestly not sure. We've never really done a deep dive into our littles and how they work. We would love to, but I'm just scared because I don't like thinking of myself as a child. Put it frankly. Really enjoyed this book. The littles enjoyed it, so it was all good. Then we read Real Not Perfect. This is more of a Christian book. We really enjoyed it. It was a book that we were doing research for Grace's books. Started falling in love with it. We have ideas for, like, so we knew that Grace was going to have a series that were all kind of based in Christian fiction and about these, like, 18 students in this class. And we're like, okay, this is how we want to continue on. Like, how, like, all these different stories that we want to have played off in this world. So it really helped with that. Our books are just going to be longer than this. I think this is only, like, this is 231 pages. I think we're at 230 right now, and we're not close to the end. But yeah, so those are the books that we read. I'm going to take a little break, and then we're going to go into the books that I'm currently reading / wanting to read this next year. And yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so this year we would like to at least get through like 4 books this year, but the books we were wanting to read are The Stolen Kingdom by Bethany Atazadeh. This book we have tried to read like 2 other times. Each time we tried reading it, we picked it up, we were like, okay, we like this, and then we would fall off, and it's just like, we need to actually give it an attempt. Because like we did the same thing with Sarah Cannon's book, so we're like, let's at least give it an actual attempt to doing it. So hopefully we'll get this one at least started. Hopefully. Then the next book we want to read is Dreaming About the Boy Next Door by Sarah Sutton. This is a book, a romance book. This is mostly for like our girls in our system to read. The boys are making me say this because like our boys, and like sometimes when we read like romance books or like happy giddy moments, it makes the boys in our system very angry because they're like, why do we have to have emotions? It's this like gut-wrenching, like swoony moments are just annoying to them and they hate it. But we're just like, what do you want to, like, we have to enjoy, like, I don't know, it's just, we have to enjoy what we do. And like, we eventually want to do romance, and it makes everyone else happy. So, you know, picking it up. Not meaning to say that these romance books aren't good. It's just some of us don't like them. Then the next book we want to read is The Nocturnals. This is one for our littles to read. We've already picked it up. We're like at 85 pages into it. There's over 200 pages. Little book for the littles to read. This is probably going to be our next book that we read. Like try to finish. Just because the littles need time out and stuff, so this is their book. Then this book is kind of going to be a work in progress, if we ever feel, like, because, like, this, so it's called Brandon Sanderson's The Mistborn, and I don't know if you ever looked inside, but it's got small little words, and we've so far reached page 10, we like it, it's just, there's a lot to it. And that one's more for our boys to read, but the boys are like, if we had a choice between, like, reading or, like, doing nothing, they're going to choose doing nothing rather than reading, if that makes sense. It's just how they are. Our boys are something else. Then the next book we want to read, this is a spiritual journey of how a person in our community, in their journey to following God and stuff, this is a book that we're wanting to read mostly so then we can obviously grow in our faith, but also so then we can, because we have a plan to make a company and then write other people books around here. So like being a ghostwriter for other people in our community and like writing them a book that they can then either just keep personal or they could then publish it too, if that makes sense. So this is a book we want to read. We're about halfway through it, I would say. Do we remember what happened in the beginning part? No, so, you know, it's not always the easiest. This is a writing book that we want to read. Pretty self-explanatory. Writing Irresistible Kidlit. This is, a book Shelley and Grace are working on together reading. We're journaling it. Well, we're not journaling about it, but we are taking notes on it. This is the book we want to read. Then the next book, this is the last book we want to read. If we finish a good portion, like if we finish the fiction books of these books, then we might read other fiction books, but these are primarily on the list. This is a nonfiction about complex PTSD from surviving to thriving. This is deep book about mental health. So we're not expecting to get this done in like a weekend. This is a working progress where we like highlight, we take notes, we then do a journaling session afterwards and just process what it came like come like what we read. Like we read slash listen to one chapter, get done, kind of reflect on it, then do a journaling session about it. So it's complex. It like this one and this one we're taking notes on. And also this one. But I would say, like, if we had to choose, like, the main books we want to finish, like, the main books we want to finish this year are the personal story of the Catholic faith, of this person's Catholic faith, the Nocturnals, and then probably one of these two. Not sure which one. It'll just depend on who's out and about and who wants to read. But we do want to take more time to actually sit down and read the books. Just because we don't need to be listening to YouTube all day, frankly. I'll be right back, and then we'll talk about the books that I'm wanting to buy in 2026, because I think I have 2 books that I'm wanting to purchase. Actually, there's a couple more than that, but they're mostly spiritual after that, so I'll be right back. Guys, so there's about 4 books that I'm wanting to pick up this year in 2026, 4 books to read. The first one is A Mirror of Shadows by Sarah Cannon. This is a book that she read on her Sarah Cannon channel. I was listening to it as she was reading it. Really enjoyed it. I listened up to episode 6. And then I was like, I want to be surprised by the ending when I personally read it. And also, like, it'll be a good enjoyment just to see how different her writing, like, how she changed from, like, a serialized book to an actual novel. So that'll be interesting for me to read. And like I said, I enjoyed it. Then I wanted to pick up a book about DID, or more specifically, a character that has DID. The problem that I have with most of the books that I'm looking up is that they're not written by people who have dissociative identity disorder or OSDD. I think, like, having someone who's actually has the disorder is almost very important to me. Just because, like, I feel like singlets are, like, normal people who don't have alters, you know? Like, I feel like they don't fully understand the scope of what it's like. And that's coming from me who, I don't really have amnesia walls. And, like, I don't usually black out in times. Even though I don't usually remember a lot of things. But that I just blame on just being that my life is all pretty much relatively the same. But a book I think I'm interested in reading is called Pieces of Me by Kate McLaughlin. I think it's how you say it. I don't know. It just seemed like a really interesting story. And this one, this is more of a grace read just because she wants, like, well, I say just a grace read, but obviously I think Maris is going to have characteristics, like books have characters that have DID and stuff. I'm not so sure about Shelley, but you never know. But yeah, just something that we would be interested in reading to kind of get an idea for JJ's story. Then the next book we want to read is more of a spiritual book. It is called Unbound, A Practical Guide to Deliverance. This is a book that one of our friends kind of got us on, slash spiritual journey through the Catholic faith of, sorry, I'm blanking. But so this is a book that we kind of went to. I don't remember if you guys knew, but like I went to a Catholic retreat, and this is what we talked about. So I would be interested in picking it up and just kind of get an idea on Catholic and how to heal from things, you know, and how to embrace God in it. And then there's 3 books that I'm very interested in getting. These books are by another author tuber who I've watched. They're by Allison Ramirez. She writes, like, books about the rosary, or, like, okay, so there's one that's called Gathering Together, The Luminous Mysteries of the Rosary as an Invitation to Friendship and stuff. She has one for each of this mysteries, so luminous, sorrowful, glorious, and joyful. I would love to read each one of them, just so I can dive more and deeper into my faith. And I think those are all pretty much the books that I have planned on purchasing. I did have a lot of other like children's books, but I've been like finding books of children's books for my littles in like Walmart and stuff. Um, and I also, this is more of a spiritual one, but I'm wanting to pick up a Bible. I'm wanting to pick up a Bible, so I have a different Bible from the one that I'm currently using. But yeah, those are some things that I'm wanting to purchase, book wise, and I'll be right back and we'll talk about other things that aren't books. Okay, so in some other news, rather than just my reading stuff, I do have a few other things that I'm really wanting to focus on this year that are more personal, which is basically getting my financial life figured out. So as I told you guys, I lost my job in November, due to some well, I saw it coming, but it shouldn't have came because of my disability and stuff, but I got fired from it. So I no longer have that income coming from a job, but my brother is being so gracious and is paying me X amount of dollars each month to financially support myself. My goal each month is to probably at least try to save $200 a month. Realistically, probably like 50 or 150 during like the winter months. But I'm wanting to at least try to save some money each month, to eventually, like, I'm trying to save up to eventually publish season 2 of Bugstopia, which are those that yellow book right back there is book 7 of it. So as time progresses, I would like to, like, as I save money, then invest it into cover art and stuff. That's kind of the goal, is like to save money. So like, yes, I do want to keep purchasing like fun items, like books for me to read and stuff. I am realistic, and I'm like, I need to save money, and like that's kind of what I need to do, is I need to save money. And another thing, this is more like, I need to keep in mind, like, yes, I want to save money as best as I can, but I'm also in the back of my mind being like, there are things that I'm like, I give myself as rewards throughout the year. And that are 3D puzzles. This is just one of them that I have. I have over 70 of them. But these are crystal puzzles, that I absolutely love putting together, and they make great little decor items. Um, I want to buy more of these, and like, I obviously want to buy more just because I'm addicted to them, but also because like they make great decor items. I'm wanting to get probably 3 new ones next year. Yeah, 3 new ones next year. One for like a Christmas present slash birthday present for myself. One is going to be a gift for me once I finish Grace's book. Then a reward for possibly finishing Shelley's season 3 of books. Those are just some ideas for me. And if I do get a literary agent next year, I would buy probably 2 puzzles. But yeah, so I do want to buy more puzzles. I just have to wait and be reasonable with it. Yeah, I have so many big goals, but I'm just like, I need to save money. And being realistic is, I need to just read the books that I've got, do things at home instead of spending money on stuff. This last little part, I don't know how good it is. But yeah, and like another thing, this is something I'm also saving for, is to eventually not remodel, but redecorate this room. If I were to remodel this room and redecorate it and stuff, like do all the things that I'm wanting to do, it probably won't happen for another like 3 years. But it's just something I'm wanting to like think about, kind of be like, this is what I want, kind of thing. But like I said, I'm wanting to redo this room. I love this room. This is where I spend 95% of my time at. So I'm like, I want to spruce it up and make it a little more homey almost. It is homey. Like, I love looking at that back wall, but like this wall and the wall over here and like the little cove for the window and stuff, like those aren't really the best. Like, they're just kind of there. So I'm like, I want to work on it and make it better. I also need to get a window AC for this room, because I eventually would like to get a roommate. That won't happen for another 3 years, but I would like to get an air conditioner just so I have it in this room too. Um, but yeah, so I do want to buy more puzzles. I do want to buy more puzzles. I yeah, I have lofty goals. But yeah, so those are kind of all the things that I like. I can't think of any other personal goals that I have besides probably making like a writing routine and like some challenges that I'm wanting to possibly do, which are more writing goals. But I want to kind of get a schedule for my life situated because like I've been sleeping in until like 9 o'clock every morning, and I'm like that's terrible. I need to get up and actually do stuff before 9. Not saying that that's bad or anything. It's just I go to bed at like 8, maybe 9 o'clock. I shouldn't be sleeping for 12 hours or over 12 hours. So that's something I'm wanting to get better at. And just obviously understand more about my mental health because obviously my mental health isn't gonna get better, and I'm not gonna get better by just ignoring it and stuff. So yeah, that's kind of all the stuff I've got to talk about. The next goals for 2025 will probably be more spiritual. And then the last video of the year will probably be like a wrap up of the 2025 year of writing and stuff. But I'll have some writing vlogs in between. So yeah, that's all I got to say. Hope you guys all have a lovely day, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.